I'm baffled that this isn't front page news, but I mean, it came across my feed on X, retweeted by Alex Jones from some, hole in the wall local news station. Yeah. We're going to pull it up in a second here, but basically the essence of it is that Trump's giving a speech in Tucson, Arizona, and there's a group of people behind him on the left, group behind him on the right, about 40 people in each set of bleachers, and like a dozen of people had to go to the hospital after the rally, and they were nearly blinded. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. Do we have the video ready to go?
Okay.
And it's baffling doctors.
This is Monica Garcia on Tucson News saying that. Okay.
What's up, Monica?
Former President Donald Trump that were allowed to sit behind his stage at his Tucson rally last week tell the News 4 Tucson investigators they left with mysterious injuries to their eyes. News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter Course Nylander is live outside the Tucson Music Hall downtown. Course, what are we learning about their situation?
You guys hear
it? Monica, this is where thousands of people came out to hear former President Donald Trump speak last week. There was a group of 48 people allowed to sit on stage behind Trump throughout the event. They were split into two groups on each side of the stage. One side seemed to walk away without any issues, but multiple people seated near each other on the other side tell me that they had to go to the emergency room after they left the event. Here tonight, for the first time, the Trump campaign is confirming that they're investigating this situation.
No taxes on Social Security benefits for our seniors.
More than 2,000 people filled up the Tucson Music Hall Thursday to hear Donald Trump's first speech in Tucson this campaign as Election Day nears. Some of his biggest supporters were allowed to sit behind him on stage. Supporters like Myra Rodriguez, a former director of Planned Parenthood with a notable shift to being pro-life. In 2016, she sat behind presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on stage at an event. Now she supports Donald Trump. She enjoyed the rally, but once she left, everything changed.
As soon as we left and I stepped outside, I started feeling like my eyes were burning.
At first, she thought it might be allergies. She lives near Phoenix. By the time she got home, it was so bad she decided to go to the emergency room.
The emergency room, staff keeps saying, from the triage nurse to the PA, and are you sure you don't get spray anything? Your symptoms look like you were sprayed something.
The News 4 Tucson investigators spoke to her the morning after the rally, Friday last week. That morning, she was nearly blind.
I can't see anything. When I try to open my eyes, it's like a white blood covered. It hurts. It hurts a lot to open my eyes. I have this cold cloth that I put on and I take off all the time. But this is horrible.
She says the doctors weren't able to determine what exactly caused it. Her initial thought of allergies went out the window when she heard from several others seated next to her at the rally that also ended up seeking medical attention with the same symptoms.
It kept getting worse and worse. My eyes started watering a lot. My nose started running. Then I started feeling my face get really flushed, and then my neck felt like it was on fire. And it just progressed from there.
This Tucson woman, who doesn't want to be identified, was seated in the same area behind Trump with her brother. Both walked away with eye injuries and sought medical attention.
I was all focused on my eyes. I mean, my eyes were red like hell, it's like, it's just like unbearable. You just couldn't, I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it.
Whatever caused it seems to be isolated to the group seated on stage right. Former Congressional District 6 candidate Kathleen Wynne was seated on the opposite side of the stage and says she and everyone she knows.
Dude, that's pretty...
No, are we open what the hell is this? The fact that nobody's talking about, I typed in people injured at Trump rally, 2 news sources are talking about it, and the fact that we have to go to X to do it, and where's Trump on this? Trump isn't talking about his own assassination attempts enough, and he's not speaking about this now?
I'm still baffled, Robert. I know you want to say, I'm still baffled at the fact that Donald Trump, the guy that likes to talk the most shit I've ever heard from any candidate, isn't going all in on multiple assassination attempts. And then I would just say, keep saying it. He said it at the debate with Kamala, but I'd be like, it's your guys' rhetoric. I was almost killed twice. Now I'm on stage. People are complaining about chemical, biological, and by the way, it's not going to stop. This is going to keep happening. I don't know.
This is like CIA level warfare. This is like the shit that we hear about where they could point a laser at you and give you a heart attack. What happened to make people nearly blind?
She's almost blind. She said she can't see.
Yeah. While you were talking, I just looked it up, and a bunch of media outlets have started talking about it now because there was so much demand for the media to acknowledge it. Doctors, if you trust what media outlets are reporting, are saying, could be some sort of bacteria coming out of the air duct over that seating section.
Not the other one.
Could be lights that were shining on the stage, and it had the effect on the cornea, like shining a laser pointer out.
Or Donald Trump's cologne.
Well, I was gonna say, are we open to the possibility that Donald Trump ripped a wicked fart that wafted towards that section?
Or they put something on his clothing.
I tell you what's going to happen, okay? This is official statement. It hasn't come out yet, but this is going to be official. They're going to blame it on a faulty pepper spray can that a policeman had. I can put money on it, and that's what's going to be. Wait until tomorrow, the day after.
It's going to be a cop's fault.
It's going to be a cop's fault. What?
I bet you no. I bet you everybody's just going to forget about it.
Well,
they're gonna say they're investigating it. They're investigating it. We're going to stop talking about it.
Rob, what do you think?
Did Trump suffer any of the effects at
No.
the other? That was the one thing I was trying to figure out was, did Trump end up having the same symptoms as the people sitting behind him? Because if so, then it seems like something was directly targeted at that area. even if he's not, how do the people that are behind him get hit by it and get whatever it is? Because remember they did the Havana syndrome?
Yes.
Where there were a bunch of diplomats that came back and said they were experiencing weird
Death,
headaches,
throwing up,
dizziness. Where they and they said that it was used by, was it an EMP?
Yeah, it's a high
like a frequency.
High energy weapon.
High energy weapon. Yeah. But that's not out of the possibilities. The things that they're doing. Like I didn't get to weigh in on your story, like with the beeper thing. There's something called shaped charges. So like the charge would explode in a certain direction.
Yes.
Like I don't know if you've seen Claymore. Like you
course.
pointed one way and you're safe on the other way. And they maybe pointed this in that direction, but we're still not sure. We're waiting for the official.
And you made a great point. We don't know, Brandon. We're never gonna know the information. Dude, the stuff that I just found out about this second shooter, it's unbelievable that I'm watching footage. Let me explain something to you guys. The guy, he's the #1 most targeted individual, besides the Pope, nobody is more hated and hunted. I mean, obviously loved by us, but than Donald Trump. You mean to tell me for 12 hours, this blue and white-haired psychotic bastard had a gun around the perimeter, and again, they say, by the way, this is another Secret Service failure. And if something doesn't happen, I'm talking about fast, like meaning having overwatchers that are, bro, there's thousands of ex-military Navy SEAL, Special Forces, Marine, Air Force,
angry rednecks,
and that are. I mean, you do the background check, you do everything. Let at least 20 of them show up early to these things, bro. They have nothing else to do. By the way, this is a perimeter issue. Like even and by the way, I'm telling you right now, I have a weird feeling that Trump's inner circle is compromised. I feel that there's somebody, Brandon, either be Secret Service or on his team, which at the end of the day, you can't trust everybody 100%.
Dude, Bongino went from saying don't jump to conspiracies from the first assassination attempt, like sounding like a mainstream guy, and then this one he said no, 100%. There's definitely a mole within the Secret Service.
He said that there's a mole.
Yes,
I agree.
He's former Secret Service, and he's super mainstream. He said there's no way that somebody would have known that he was playing to golf that day at that time unless they had insider information.
Yeah, and Sean Hannity was supposed to go with them too, but Sean Hannity was like, no.
I think someone might be more targeted than Trump himself. People who support him. You know, if you look at the last 3 attempts, and I'm going to limb here. On the last 3 attempts, we have this one, you know, that is allegedly still. Then we had a car with explosive that is also in the alleged state. Allegedly. The Trump supporters, they've been berated on the media. They lose jobs. They are tempted against. We saw last week that a guy got beat up for supporting Trump. I don't know where it was. You remember?
I've seen multiple videos with
multiple
him. He had a hat. He had a Trump hat, and one guy was outside of his apartment, and the guy with a dog lost his mind.
And mind you, those people will never get Secret Service protection. Never. Because
look at what Howard Stern just said. Where Howard Stern came out and said, I don't hate Donald Trump, but I hate the people who vote for him. It's completely shifted. It used to be, we hate Donald Trump.
Maybe I'm onto something.
And the people who vote for him are misguided, and the basket of deplorables and everything. It's completely changed, at least according to Howard Stern, who is as a very vocal representative of a huge chunk of the left.
So cool.
He used to be great. And unfortunately, the guy lost his mind starting with COVID-19, and it's been a TDS downward spiral for Howard Stern.
Big time.
And I would love, like, he went out, like, could you imagine if we had the gall to get on here? He works for a company. He works for Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and he went out and told half of the voting public, I hate you, and I don't want you listening to my radio show. How do you think the people at Sirius XM feel about that? Imagine you came on here and you go, I hate women. And if you're a woman, I don't want you watching any of Valuetainment's products. You think that would
Could somebody clip that, please?
You think I'd still be working at Valuetainment?
We can make exceptions. Norwegians, we don't care about you. Okay?
We had a few bad Norwegians.
But back to this, because you said assassination attempt on Trump. They haven't succeeded with that. But they did succeed on one of the Trump supporters. Remember the firefighter?
Corey Comprator.
Yeah.
That was the successful assassination of Corey Comprator.
Yeah, that's why I think Trump's laying us down, though, because what the hell is he doing? Where's his priorities at if he's not calling this shit out every day?
You know what's interesting? Oh, go ahead.
No, say you're interesting, then I'm going to go to Jake. Jake in the back wants to say something. Go ahead.
So it's interesting that just this week, the Secret Service advised Trump to stop doing outdoor rallies for the second time, and they made the shift from outdoor rallies to indoor rallies. So the first 2 assassinations assassination attempts were outside. Now he's moved to an indoor facility to host these rallies, and now there are people. As soon as he moves them indoors, there's now people suffering weird symptoms from being indoors at one of his rallies.
Yeah.
So you look at it, you go, what are the odds that the first time he moves everything indoors, and I'm not saying it's the first rally that he has done indoors.
You're just saying.
But it's the first week that they started doing them, and now people are all of a sudden coming up with mysterious.
Well, think about
Brandon and I were just talking
agency,
to
6 ways from Sunday.
We were just talking to Frank the other day. Frank, who's a
Frank.
diehard fan of our show.
Frank the Tank.
Yeah. And
Beast.
And we were all discussing, and Brandon made the very valid point that he's made before, that the goal is to just get Trump to stop campaigning. Because the hide in a bunker and let other people campaign for you strategy, it worked great for Joe Biden in 2020. It's working great for Kamala Harris now. It would not work well for Trump at all.
Oh, I think he
what
should do
does Jake
that.
have to say? Jake
I think
in the
Trump
back.
should start.
So you're saying that they want him, mind you, they want him to stay in the basement, and because of shit like this, they want the supporters to be scared.
I want
It'll
him to
never
stay,
happen.
I want him to stay in the basement.
Why? You think that'll help?
Yes.
Well,
he's fine. He needs to stay in the basement and actually be vocal about what's happening, because for whatever reason he's scared to talk about it.
Which to me is weird too. But I think Brandon, I only disagree because if he stays in the basement, then they're gonna say that he's weak. That he's weak.
Like, oh yeah, I'm so weak. They tried to kill me 3 or 4 times.
They threw
sorry.
Molotov cocktails on the lawn of the White House, and they took him down to the presidential bunker during BLM, and they called him bunker bitch.
Yeah, but you know what's gonna happen though? Then when the left cheats, which I almost am for certain they're doing, because I mean right now I'm seeing reports of people that are like, oh, we just found like 30,000 votes, but these people were not supposed to be able to vote. All that's starting to happen right now. Jake, what do you got to say? Jake's gonna come in from the voice of God.
All right, so this is just updated 20 minutes ago.
Wow.
House of Representatives passes a bill to boost presidential campaign security to that of the level of the president following assassination attempts on Trump. 405-0 pass.
Oh,
wow.
So they're going. So they're okay. So they're going to give it to him. Well, okay, but that's a great. And Jake, thank you so much. And here's the point, guys. I still think they're going to try to do another assassination attempt. Guys, how many times do I have to say this? It's not over. You guys, okay, think about the scope. Think about the scope. From 2016 with Hillary with her bullshit with Russia to everything in between, the impeachments, the indictments, everything, the attempted murders twice, and we all know who's doing it. Let's not parse words or be on the tippy toe on the fence. We all know who the hell it is. They that are trying to kill him. They can't let him win. If he wins, it's retribution. It's accountability. It's not like the first time. It's not the first time where he didn't know who to appoint when he came in. That's why I hate the left's argument. Well, he appointed Christopher Wray and he appointed Mike Pompeo. Who the hell else was he gonna pick? Who? Rob G and Humberto or his friends. You have to pick the swamp.
That's what I would do.
By the way, he came in and said he wanted to drain the swamp, but the same token, he had to pick people in his cabinet that were in the swamp. Now it's a different story, and I'm telling you guys, they know that he's going to hold people accountable, and that's why he is such a threat to these sons of bitches. And that's why, guys, we have to pray to God that this guy makes it till the election and then gets to the inauguration. What's up, Rob?
It's very interesting. You mentioned that the left or Democrats cheating for the election. And a very interesting report came out 3 days ago from USA Today, and it talked about who would accept the election results if their candidate lost. 46% of Republicans and 27% of Democrats say they wouldn't accept results if their respective candidates lost.
Yes.
Even more interesting, 14% of Republicans and 11% of Democrats said they would take actions to overturn the election results if their candidate lost. 14% of Republicans, 11% of Democrats.
Wow.
But they never talk about that 11%.
Yeah.
They take that 14% and they act like that 14% applies to Connor, to Brandon, to Jake, to you, to Humberto, to me. That it's crazy that they don't even address the 11% that are stating in a poll that they would try and overturn the election result. So this entire time, every time you hear about January 6th and we're attacking democracy and we're a threat to this country, look at the 11% of Democrats who say they would react the same exact way if 2024 plays out and Trump wins.
I think that's misleading too, by the way, because remember in 2020 when they were literally doing man on the street, CNN was, and they were saying to liberals, hey, what would you do if Trump wins? They're like, oh, it's revolution time. And they're like, oh, you hear that? Good old American spirit. They're going to revolution if Trump wins. Like they're cheering them on, but we're fucking domestic terrorists if we say that they might have miscounted the election.
Which they did.
There was just a poll that came out that said 1/3 of Democrats are disappointed that the assassins haven't killed Trump.
A third. A third. And by
this is not acceptable.
I need to find the exact.
It's not acceptable, but it's a fact.
But we're a civilized country. Like I hate. No, but I hate that this is happening right now. I hate it.
I agree with you, but guys, as much as this side says that they're the loving, peaceful, liberal,
joy.
Joy. It's bullshit. Because let's be honest, okay? Who are the top 5 biggest Trump haters? George Clooney. Who else? Who else?
Kimmel, Stern. Oh, are you talking politics or in general?
That dyke from The View.
Everybody from The View. Howard Stern, Bill Maher, all these guys, George Clooney. If Donald Trump, Rosie O'Donnell, if Donald Trump was shot and murdered, they would be freaking having parties and applauding and worshiping them, whoever the shooter was. So don't get it twisted, okay? And it's only one side that's doing it. Has anybody tried to kill Kamala or Biden or Barack? I'm talking about in this fashion.
Stop.
If Barack Obama, guys, was shot right now in the ear by an assassin, like it's all over. You think BLM was bad? Forget about it. Or Michelle or anybody on that side. And I hate how they bring up Paul Pelosi. It was
it was his boyfriend. They were having a weird sex party.
Underwear they're like he voted for Trump. Shut the hell up.
Everyone will be rounded up if you said Trump had a nice tie. You'd be rounded up and said,
straight to jail. Straight to jail.